Welcome to the show where three generations of family go head to head on a variety of topics. You got one Gen X, Kaya, one Millennial, Noe, and one Gen Z, Chris. No matter what the topic, you can bet it's going to be up for debate.
The gang's back in effect. It's up for debate, the show in which three generations of family go head to head on a variety of topics. The one with the hoodie and a hat.
Both of them.
He got
I got a hoot.
Looking as Gen Z as possible.
woo,
I got a hoot.
Chris. the New York Yankees. New York Yankees, but don't the Mets have the same NY logo?
Yeah, but it looks different.
Yeah.
With the Jackie Robinson.
Shout out to Jackie Robinson, our black historian.
But screw lids for probably pricing that extra for the Jackie Robinson one.
I'm sure that hat costs a little bit more than the regulars.
Indeed, it did.
Yeah, you see how these companies could just capitalize off of Black history?
Right back around.
And me, I'm your Gen X, formerly baby boomer who was misinformed. Now Gen X, Kaya. Hey, that's me. And because it's Black history, we want to shout out some of the greatest relationships in our Black American historians, like the late great Malcolm and Betty Shabazz, late great Martin and Coretta, Barack and Michelle,
Jonathan and Megan.
Flo and James.
Will and Jada.
I said Flo and James.
Florida. Okay.
Flo Evans.
Yeah.
James.
Okay. Medgar Evers and Lady Evers. We have a lot of great couples that have literally paved the way for us throughout history. However, some of their values and what they actually represented, we don't necessarily represent today in 2024 because relationships don't last like that. We are in,
I have a question.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll deviate the conversation, but I was just thinking about all the names you just listed. It just got me to thinking, do you think that we look at TV couples as being more impactful than the real couples when it comes to Black people?
Pretty much, unless you've experienced it in your life. Like my mom was not married long, and she was not married to my father. So I didn't grow up looking at her as an example, but my grandparents were married for 50 years until literally death, they parted. But then I have Uncle Richard and, his wife. They are a happily married couple for almost 40 years, or maybe over 40 years, So it depends on what you see, My in-laws have been married now for
about 50 years.
50 years. Now, whether or not we look at happily married couples,
Yeah, 50 years.
is one thing.
I think 74, so it's 2024, yeah, 50 years.
Be 50 years in August. So, what, Chris?
No, I'm just wasn't.
I think it's all based on what you're exposed to. Like we had Clarence and Mabel and Marilyn and Maurice. Pete and Hilda. Whether or not these couples have happy marriages behind closed doors, because I think that all of us know that when we get in front of people, or we're at an event, we could all put on a oh boo, I love you, want to play, Then we go back in the car. You scuzz bucket. You know, you
Yo, scuzz bucket is crazy. At my age, it's just really no young lady that I could look at and be like 30 to 40 from now. Nah,
Aren't you in a relationship?
Aren't you in a relationship?
I just want to say you look as Gen Z as ever today,
I'll take
representing
that compliment.
for your people. Well,
You know what? You know what? I'm tired.
or
of
I
trying
should
to
say
defend
represent to the
myself from
full.
Gen Z. I'ma just accept it. I represent Gen Z. Those are my people. Those are my people.
Rep them
If I
hard,
look-
Chris.
If I look like a Gen Z, then I look like a Gen Z.
I'm just saying, the more and more conversations and information I get, y'all millennials ain't looking too hot either out there. No, we
This is what I'm saying.
Wow,
This
what
is
they
what
do?
I'm saying. Y'all ain't too far off. Just in a different way.
What do the
Y'all-
millennials
y'all-
do?
y'all spoiled too.
We out here chilling.
Y'all overly spoiled too.
What do you mean?
Y'all are overly spoiled too.
The millennial, look, we are the gateway from Gen Z to everything beyond that. So it's the Gen Zers, and they got to get to us to get to Gen X and the boomers and everybody. We are the bridge. You know what I'm saying? We make this thing work.
I feel like millennials are a weird generation. I don't like a lot of millennials.
Because we're the last
Like, I
group
don't-
of
I don't- I
people
don't
who
like it.
understand the way the
Uh-huh.
world was and the way the world is, but like at prime time.
No, I think that's Gen X. I'm sorry.
Nah,
Because
y'all-
we experience the best of both. Because you guys got on the tail end of what we experience as just a regular Sunday. But y'all came in on the tail end of it. But we innovated, like we literally are the ones that invented hip hop. Y'all, everybody else is just blood sucking leeches off of the culture. And then want to
maybe.
change, then want to trans the culture and say no, we doing something different. We gonna make mumble rap and not nobody understand what I'm saying, but it's still hip hop.
Is mumble rap a Gen Z thing? Excuse me, a millennial thing?
Who's the first one that came up with mumble rap?
It was us, but that's okay. It was definitely us. But no, we're the first ones who made it popular. Because Future and them was making the music, but we were the recipients of the music, if that makes sense. Like the
So
people
is
making music are older than me.
Future label, can Future be labeled as a mumble rapper? Because I can't tell you one Future song. Oh no, Mask Off, right? That was Future, right?
You said what?
Future was Mask Off.
Mask Off, yeah.
That's the only Future song I know.
March Madness, you know March Madness.
No, what's that?
I'm sure I know I've heard Future songs. Obviously.
Yeah, you know it.
I couldn't sit here and tell you one of them though.
Yeah, but that's off the topic. Nonetheless,
March Madness.
I think millennials are a weird generation. I like some of them. There's a lot of cool ones, but I feel like millennials are weird adults. I feel like they don't know how to adult right. Like I have
they fake adults.
Yeah, like I have better conversations with Gen Xers than I do with millennials. Like it's to the point where I'll be having conversations with millennials, like in certain spaces, and we be like 10 minutes in the conversation. I'd be like, "How old are you?" Thinking that they my age. Then they'd be like, "Oh, I'm 32." You're like, "What?" No, you ain't 32. If you're 32, I'm 32. There ain't no way. You're 32. It's just I just refuse to believe it. But yeah, I think millennials are weird adults. I think y'all want to be Gen Zers, but y'all got stuck.
They got stuck in the
It's
Matrix.
weird. Like, I feel like for us, I can only speak for like the group of people who I grew up with. And it feels like we all grew up the same way, where we had like so many of my friends are my friends because their older siblings were friends with my brother. And then it was kind of just like, I got a little brother. I got a little brother. I got a little sister. I got a little brother. I'm just bring my brother over. Cool. And then you just end up friends with all these kids your age. But the influence from the older generation, like for me, I never felt like I was growing up with millennials or whatever the case may be, because I didn't really do things millennials did. Like I felt advanced because I was watching my 10 and 12-year older brothers, and it was kind of just like, oh, that's what they do. I'm gonna do that too. Oh, that's what they like. I just look back at life. I'm like, yo, we were doing some stuff that we shouldn't have been doing, like, or saying things we shouldn't have been saying way ahead of our time. And then, like, by the time it came to like, now you should be doing this stuff, it was just like, I'm over that. I did that when I was 6. I'm saying, like, it's just like whatever. But it was like that for like so many of the people that I grew up with. So it's actually interesting looking at it. And two, I mean, we just, I don't know. I feel like that whole adulting thing is very interesting because when I look at millennials now, it kind of feels like that. It's weird. Like I'd be looking at them like, yo, it doesn't feel like you about to be 40. And that could also just be like the shift of the world, right? Like just the way the world has changed. And I think in a hard shift towards like the younger generation. And it kind of just feels like, I don't know, it almost feels like the millennials like were growing up and then like it just stopped. Like you never actually completed the process all the way through. Some of them. But like the ones that Chris was talking about, where he was just like, oh, because I feel like I kind of feel like that too. Like, yeah, how old are you? And it's just like, yo, man, like I'm 40. I'm like, what? And it just like it's almost like the life doesn't match. Or like you know what I'm saying? Like things just don't seem to match the way that they did before. I don't know.
It's sad because it feels like certain millennials, they don't know how to adult properly. And them not knowing how to adult properly is a direct reflection off of the baby boomers. And Gen Z's not being all it's cracked up to be is a direct reflection of Gen X.
But the weird thing about it is, we sit here and we have all this hate for Gen Z.
Who hates?
I'm not
I
talking
don't hold any hate in my heart. The only person I hate is the devil. Proceed.
Well, I'm saying like societies or the older generation's overall perception of Gen Z is not a favorable one. But the thing is, all y'all want to be like us.
Who?
Quite literally, you can widen your eyes and say who all you want, but everything that the older generation do
my circle
is modeled off. But listen, hold on.
Go ahead.
When you talk about Auntie Rena, right? And Auntie, they be taking selfies and doing all this. What does Gen Z do? They wasn't doing that before social media got hot and Gen Z.
No, they weren't doing that before Kim Kardashian. Kim Kardashian made that joint. Kim Kardashian made selfies famous, not Gen Z's.
Kim Kardashian did not make so. She was just the poster child for it. The kids move the needle for all this
What's
stuff.
the definition of making it famous? You're the poster child. If you look up selfies, she actually made a book called Selfies and sold it, and it's sold out.
You're talking about one thing, right? But for whatever the kids do, the older generations follow behind it. All the trends on TikTok and this and that, all these dance trends and all that, the adults come flying right behind us every time.
Sorry, but most of the challenges that are made is off of Gen X music.
It's not adults.
It's made from Gen X music. Most of that's how all of these old songs are getting more. They're like, oh, this was somebody? Oh my goodness. Let's do a challenge. Let's do a make up a dance off of it.
If you want to be that opposed to actually agreeing with what I'm saying, go on Instagram and look at all these challenges that are sure Gen X made the music. That has no bearing on the fact that the platform that it's on and the challenges that were made to it were all done by young kids. And adults that have never done that before are now following the trends because it's attention grabbing. Adults, 50s and 60s on TikTok. Since when?
Since it became profitable.
Which is what the kids made it to be, is what I'm saying. YouTube, now adults want to be on YouTube, making YouTube channels.
I'm sorry, but
Come
you're
on,
talking.
man.
I'm just saying you're talking, saying it's on. If you go on Instagram, Instagram was made by a millennial. Mark Zuckerberg is 39.
Ma,
Wait, when do
we're talking
millennials
about what
start?
it's made by, right?
No, but you wouldn't be able to do it if we did
That's
not
the
provide
point,
a
but Ma, you're not
platform for
arguing
you.
the point. That's not the point of what we're talking about. I said y'all want to be like us. I never said that y'all didn't make what I'm talking about. Y'all made
So
the
how can?
platform, so y'all.
But
Ma,
are you
hold
actually
on,
here?
hold
Okay, go
on.
ahead. Sorry.
Y'all
Sorry,
made
go ahead.
Instagram and y'all made that or whatever, right? Mark Zuckerberg didn't make the challenges when that Drake song came out. Mark Zuckerberg wasn't taking selfies. You talking about the technical stuff. Cool. Y'all made that. The music. Cool. Y'all made that. But everything that happened after that, social media, all these trends, all this fashion stuff, that's us. That's us. And you can deny it all you want, but all of y'all follow behind us. Trends are literally created by the kids. Viral stuff happens and it's viral because of kids. Shark do 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 kids.
That I agree with. That I agree with. But everything else, I'm giving you the James Harden
Like
stare.
Like it's impossible for you to not believe that if you go on all these apps that you're on. It's all the kids making that stuff. They move the needle for popularity for a lot of that stuff online.
Kids are the consumers of.
Correct. Popularity comes from consumer side.
But the only way that kids are able to consume.
But that's not the point. We're not arguing that. We're talking about popularity and influence.
Stay tuned for scenes from the next episode of Up for Debate.
Yeah, I didn't beat you once a week or once a month.
You did. Yeah, you did.
On the next episode.
100%.
Oh, I'm about to Antoine Fisher mama you. Cause nigga, what the hell?